Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, we have a lot of very important crypto news to share. The two most important things of today are definitely going to be the Ripple expectation for 2022 and, oh boy, do I think this is interesting, massive adoption. Sounds a little bit vague, right? Well, but you'll see what I'm talking about here. A lot of things are going on, a lot of things I need to share within this video. So just sit tight, clench your butt cheeks nice and tight together, and let's dive right into the show for today. So first of all, guys, Ripple just posted this new report. Crypto 2022, the new normal in finance. So I want to quickly read this for you guys. It takes about 4 minutes or so, hopefully. And that's because this is Ripple's newest report for what they expect for 2022. And generally speaking, I think these reports are very nice to catch yourselves up to date with whatever Ripple is thinking. And at the end of the day, if you are an XRP holder, guys, make sure you press that like button, as I'm trying to pump these videos out whenever something important comes out in the best and whatnot fashion. There's also a summarized article from some perspective, which basically reads Ripple's 2022 outlook. Crypto is the new normal in finance, which kind of talks about the exact same thing in a summarized fashion. I guess we can actually also cover this one. You know what? Let's do the shorter version. So in 2022, let me actually make sure this is right in the center. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see it properly now. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. This should be juicy. There, perfect. In 2021, the introduction of new central bank digital currency initiatives, which are CBDC, the intensification of policy and legislative talks, and the increased adoption by established institutions all helped crypto and blockchain sustain a rise in traditional financial markets. In particular, a constant stream of new entries into the space, with broader acceptance for crypto developments and enhanced usefulness, are expected in 2022, according to Ripple's new leadership. Managing Director of APEC and MENA, which are two specific regions, Brooks Entwistle, cites recent CBDC initiatives linked to national real-time payment systems to enhance payment rails. He says the move has opened the door for additional crypto activities in 2022 to meet the rising demand, which could lead to more growth for Ripple's Nets on-demand liquidity solution, which is rather interesting if you ask me. Now, while remittances will continue to be a key use case, we can expect other applications to rise to the fore, such as trade flow or treasury management, said Entwistle. Now, notably, inefficiencies in the global domestic and cross-border financial systems continue to be highlighted by the pandemic as remittances to low and medium income countries surged in 2021, placing further strain on inadequate cross-border payment systems. Now, besides that, the crypto space has been marked by ongoing development and maturity in the debate of the new use cases for blockchain and crypto, as well as the rapid emergence of NFTs in 2021. Yeah, would you guys actually be interested if I launched an NFT collection? Kind of interested in that, if you guys would actually enjoy that. So of course, it's not just going to be art only. There has to be some function. I've explained this in a couple of my talks before. What is the purpose of NFTs? Well, that's difficult to say in general, right? Because NFTs can do a lot of different things. However, if you're just buying a piece of art and there's no literal use case behind it, I think it's a waste of money, to be honest with you, because, I don't know. If it's really a spectacular piece of art, sure, fine, go ahead and do it. But I'm talking about a randomly generated piece of photo that's so simple to make, so to speak, not necessarily special. Unless you get like a community or something behind it, which is worth it, I think most of the time it's a waste of money. And I'm always open and honest with you guys. If we're to release something, it's honestly at the end of the day, just because it's something cool that I think you guys might want to have. And that there could be some cool little balance right there. And it's a cool thing to have out there, an NFT collection with all you guys, like a dusty something. Yeah, it could be pretty cool when I'm thinking about it, but maybe it's really stupid. That's why I want you guys' input on that. And also, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because later today, I'm giving you guys a guide, I think it's going to be tomorrow, on how to get a lot of freaking free airdrops. I've actually gotten myself, I think, this year, so 2022 already. No, it's hard to say. 2022 hasn't been so crazy, but I'm gonna say that in the recent past here, we've gotten at least $20,000 worth of airdrops for not really interacting that much at all. And so if I can get $20,000 worth of airdrops for free, then I think a lot of you guys can also get a couple $1,000s every single year just from airdrops alone. Then again, to some people, this might sound like nothing. To other people, $5,000 a year for just doing not absolutely nothing, for doing very little. can be game changing, you know? So I definitely want to make a video on that to hopefully get you guys more into that space as well. If you guys want that, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, Ripple themselves are going pretty hard on the NFT sector too, as they're making a $250 million creator fund. Yet at the end of the day, where's my money? You know? Why are they not sending me? Why, you know, connect with your boy. I'm gonna make the most beautiful XP collection if they were to do that, but of course not. Creator fund. This man has made 1,000 videos on XP. Screwing on. They don't care. As I said before, I've never been in contact with Ripple in my entire life, except for maybe David Schwartz, who I've talked with on Twitter. But that's it. Yeah. So that's kind of sad. Now, there's little question that NFT firms will prosper in the space, but the infrastructure needs to support consumer and creative demand if it is to do so. According to CTO David Schwartz, the catalyst to NFT's long-term viability would be creating a seamless user experience for mainstream consumers and retailers alike. Likewise, General Manager of Ripple X Monica Long points out technological advancements in other sectors, like DeFi, can also assist in pushing the expansion of NFTs beyond more collectibles, she said. Yeah, there's actually pretty crazy things you can do with NFTs as well, like get yield on them. That's honestly something which I don't know too much about. The fact that you can, this is what Da Vinci told me, right? You can get a couple of NFTs, they cost maybe a couple $100,000, but they can give you thousands of dollars every single month. And some of them give you a freaking crazy percent, like 20% a month or so, which I think is unsustainable and pretty ridiculous. But hey, you know, there's a system for it, and I have absolutely no idea how it works. But hey, that's just me. Now, the ability to sell, store, and transfer an NFT from a wallet attached to that identity and then seamlessly access it on another means buyers and sellers can confidently verify creators and their creations. And last but not least, okay, it's not last but not least. Moreover, this is about interoperability will aid mainstream adoption, and that's actually the most important topic for today. That's what we have all the articles at the top. This is mirrored. This is difficult. Never mind. Right there, all right? Right there, those articles are the are gonna be what's gonna set the story for today, mostly. You'll see though in a little second. Now, moreover, interoperability with multi-chains is a recurring topic among the members of the Ripple leadership team for 2022, especially in terms of its capacity to aid in the realization of broader mainstream adoption and utility for crypto. Long stated, developers crave the ability to build bridges between networks to meet specific use cases, which again coincide with the whole airdrop scenario as well. Achieving this interoperability will be key to breaking down the barriers for broader crypto adoption. What I'm thinking right there is right now, and this is actually really funny because a project contacted me today who hopefully we'll work with on the channel because I like what they're doing. But they basically told me today on a call, what they want to do is make the interoperability a lot better by making another little, I guess, layer above. I don't want to kind of spoil everything just quite yet for that. The video I think is going to be less interesting if I spoil everything. But what they basically try to do is make the best solution to make all this stuff interoperable. Of course, some things will not work with one another. For example, we talked before about EVM compatibility. Everything that has that EVM compatibility, basically to be able to work with Ethereum, has a big advantage because they're easily more interoperable. And again, you can basically store everything over on your MetaMask, right? Like an Avalanche, okay, I'm drawing a blank right there for a little second, but an Avalanche can easily get on there. A Polygon can easily get on there and so forth and so on. But for a lot of other chains, you have to make a specific different wallet because it just doesn't work together in an easy fashion. The Binance Smart Chain is, of course, also compatible. There are a lot of people out there, a lot of companies out there, even I guess the guys behind Polygon, that are trying to make these things interact with each other as seamless as possible so you can kind of use everything at once. But there's even thoughts right now of doing this for the NFT space, which I think is interesting. Now, regulators to play a greater role. As a result of the rapid rise in popularity of NFTs and CBDCs, as well as interest from traditional financial institutions in crypto, regulators are also anticipated to play an increasingly important role in 2022. Regulatory oversight remained inconsistent among countries and regions despite an increase in activity over the last year. Now, on the whole, the strengthening of regulations is crucial in instilling trust in businesses to join the cryptocurrency market or cooperate with crypto providers. It's worth noting that Finbold recently reported U.S. crypto lobbying spending had already doubled in 2021, fueled by regulatory uncertainty, as $5 million was leveraged to attempt to influence legislators. If the present growth rate continues, the sum will most likely double this year as well. I think it might actually more than triple or even quadruple in this year. As again, guys, things are going really, really big this year. All right, now guys, before we move on, what an interesting day it has been for the XRP price, huh? Right now facing some nice support at about 82 cents, but let me know down below, because this video is recorded a couple hours in advance. I think an hour and a half, maybe two, maybe a little bit, it depends. Let me know down below what you think is going to happen to the XRP price over the next couple of hours. Do you think we're going to pump? Do you think it's going to dump? Let me know down below. And also, guys, make sure you check out my Instagram, TheDustyBC. All right, having said that, here's a couple of different things which I kind of want to go in like a rapid pace on. First of all, U.S. crypto lobbying expenditure doubles in 2021, fueled by regulatory uncertainty. We just called this out. Most likely this year will be way crazier, as right now there's a lot of institutions coming in. But again, look at who's on top. Ripple Labs is one of the biggest companies lobbying for proper regulatory clarity. Coinbase is third. Who would have thought? All right, but that's again not so important as the base layer. Look at this. KPMG Canada invests in Bitcoin and Ether. The audit, tax, and advisory firm says crypto are a maturing asset class that can no longer be ignored. We know it. We know it. We know it. We know it. Now, U.S. national figure skating body adopts Bitcoin donations. After announcing plans to go crypto in September of last year, U.S. figure skating now officially accepts Bitcoin for donations. High-profile lawyer Tony Busby accepts Bitcoin for his $27 million mansion in Houston. Guys, I am putting all these things together. Not because they are all the same thing. No, they're definitely not. They're actually all in a little bit of a different sector, if you guys have noticed. This is the payment sector for goods, specifically the high end, because there's a very big difference in buying a $27 million home versus buying a 4-cent stamp, for example, with Bitcoin. Bitcoin works a lot better on the more expensive things. Then again, even for small donations, crypto does work and Bitcoin is still an option. At the end of the day, if you utilize it properly, you don't have to spend too much on your little donation. It depends a little bit on how you set up your transaction. If you, for example, use Exodus, which by definition puts the fee ridiculously high, if you want to donate $5, you might even pay $15 in fees, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Then again, there's also some very interesting opposite side. JP Morgan's asset management executive admits he's tempted to invest in Bitcoin. Here's why he won't. So that was a little bit of a plot twist right there. In a recently published report, let's see if the cam is still lagging. Test. Well, might be good. In a recently published report, Michael Kembalist, JP Morgan Asset and Wealth Management Chairman, has slammed Bitcoin, terming the hype around the crypto and lofty valuations as the stuff that dreams are made of. Now, in the 28-page report dubbed the Maltese Falcon, he pieces together some glaring facts that betray much vaunted but brittle use cases of crypto. And the name of the report emanates from a 1941 film called The Maltese Falcon, which, despite a golden falcon artifact whose value is hyped only to turn out much like the 1634-1637 Tulip Mania. Now, as per the report, volatility is the biggest hindrance to Bitcoin's mainstream adoption, which I can agree and disagree with on its own already. Now, if we had to really put up an argument for why Bitcoin is so adopting right now, it's partially because of the crazy opportunity there is. Now, from a certain perspective, I always like to put up, if you want to get rich, stocks ain't really it, depending on how you put your time frame. If you want to eventually get rich, stock can definitely do the trick. An index fund, for example, almost any single person who's watching this video right now can eventually become a millionaire when they're 70, for example. It's not really necessarily that hard for most people in most countries. Generalizing, of course. Then again, most people want to get there a little bit quicker, preferably yesterday, if you guys get my drift. And so, yeah, from that perspective, I think the volatility is for a... Oh, and then we got some crazy cars again in the background. You gotta love it. I really wonder if you guys can hear that. I should check back one of these recordings to listen to it, because it's such a deep sound that I'm thinking you must. But maybe I have a good mic, maybe I got that quality. But what I was trying to say right there is with crypto, a lot of people want to get it quicker. And sometimes I think that that's one of the main driving forces of people buying into it, the appeal of getting and tapping into a market which can definitely change your life overnight. And again, you have this uncertainty of the price going down, yes. But again, that's also part of the entire fun and part of the entire appeal and spiel of why they're going for it. Then again, also with volatility comes unregulatedness. That's also, again, I guess, a different sector as to why the adoption is going slow. It's not because of the volatility, it's because of the process behind the volatility. Had there been really proper regulatory clarity and proper rules, most likely this entire volatility issue would be reduced quite severely. Bitcoin's volatility continues to be ridiculously high, and its volatility often rises when equity market volatility is rising too. VOD volatility can be caused by large concentration of coins by a few entities, attacks on exchanges, regulatory risks, among others. 2% of the Bitcoin holders own 70% of its value. It takes 10% of U.S. households to get to 70% wealth rather than just 2%, he adds. For this reason, he finds claims of Bitcoin being a medium of exchange untenable. Further, the current valuation thesis basis for cryptocurrencies as a medium of exchange makes no sense. One thing I don't really understand right there is they're saying 2% of Bitcoin holders own 72% of its value. It takes 10% of U.S. households to get to 70% wealth rather than just 2%. That's actually a surprisingly high number. I would have thought that a lot lower of a percentage. Maybe that's just because of the U.S. alone. If we take it worldwide, it might be more severe. Because I'm thinking the top 10% in the entire U.S. makes for only 70% of the wealth in the U.S. I would have thought that the top, let's say 2% would have definitely made that too. I didn't think it was so structured in such a way. Then again, we must also come out here and say that out of this 2%, that also takes into consideration Satoshi Nakamoto, who has 1/21st of the entire money out there in the world, so all the Bitcoin. So I guess that also makes things a little bit more difficult. However, there's actually two conclusions that I wanted to draw right here. One, this is a very nice little thing for XRP. You can see a lot of these guys are putting in the work, and crypto adoption is definitely increasing as time moves on. There's no question about that. At the same time, XRP is not really at the forefront of a lot of these things, which I think might change over the next couple of months or so, as we most likely or hopefully get the regulatory clarity for XRP. And having said that also, there's really no question in my own head, even though this is not financial advice, right? None of these videos are financial advice. These are just my thoughts. These are just my thoughts. All I say here might be wrong, not financial advice. I think that this, again, kind of solidifies the theory of crypto ain't going nowhere. Regardless of what you see, crypto ain't going nowhere. The only direction which it will go over longer periods of time is up. And I made a couple of videos where I've stated, for example, about the price, that we can have some volatility. I even put it over on Twitter. We can't see it right now, but whatever. I even put it on Twitter earlier today. It's going to be a bumpy road. But we already expected that. That's not surprising. The only thing that you shouldn't get or let get to your head is the fact that one day of pumps doesn't all of a sudden mean 10 days of pumps in a row. One day of pumps means, hey, it's still alive, it's still there. Don't think it's dead. But again, it's going to be volatile and most likely be that way for a long time. And again, that's one of the spiels, one of the appeals for crypto as well, if you can start thinking about it. How fun would crypto be if the prices only moved 1% every week? Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be as fun as it is right now. The roller coaster ride is what does it for me as well. You might call it stupid. You might call it unregulated garbage. I call it a way. I call it the fun rodeo ride, and I'm all in for it. I'm all in for it, guys. All right, having said that, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you press that like button. If you didn't, let me know down below why not, and we'll fight about it. Whoever wins, he gets to be right. I am just kidding, guys, of course. Just, if you didn't enjoy it, you can always put it down below. I read every single thing. As long as you're not rude about it, I take it in as a genuine piece of criticism in a good way, as feedback, and I try to improve on the stuff. So put it down below if you didn't enjoy it, or if you did, whatever. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.